Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Closing Comments here on September 3rd. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in the markets today. First up, we got our October live cattle. We did see this market finish negative here today for the first time in a minute. We did see a nice breakdown coming in off that opening range. Most of this downside of the day coming here throughout the first hour of the day. Good support here at last Friday's opening range, getting a little bounce there midday, rallying back up there towards the 239 area. A little bit of a stagnant close, however, finishing the day at 238.20 and seeing a close below that prior day low. Not many of those opportunities throughout this run up here. This market's pretty extended. We've had a pretty impressive run over the last 2-ish months here, and looking like this market just may be a little bit extended, maybe rolling over here finally. Price is just getting a little stagnant up here right around the 240s. The bulls have been resilient, and we do expect to see dips be bought up, whether it's tomorrow or a few days from now will remain to be seen. However, at the moment, this market's just feeling a little bit heavy. We are still trading in between our pivot points here for the week, so we need to see follow through below today's low and finish below 236 to really get this pullback underway. We do have this rising 20-day moving average coming up here, nearing our current pivot points up there. 20-day average trading right around the 234 mark. Be looking for this market to follow through with offers below today's close and start to pull back a little bit. We do expect to see dips be buying opportunities. We'll be looking for bulls to step in and support this thing. However, this market's had a pretty impressive run, pretty extended here at the moment, and a little bit of a cool off here would be healthy for this market before we can resume this uptrend and carry back up higher into new all-time highs. And we do expect to see these higher prices carry over into the fall. However, at the moment, in the near term, we do see this market just getting a little bit stagnant and starting to roll over a little bit here. So look for this pullback to get underway. However, we need to see more new daily lows and a breakdown below this bear pivot to really confirm that move. So in the meantime, expect some chop as this market hangs out up here in this 236 to 240 area. Over to the October feeders now. We did see this market also giving way a little bit today. Price flushing down there and briefly undercutting our bear pivot down there at 359. But just failure to really hold below that bear pivot and saw a nice bounce here midday as well. Opening range breakdown pushing lower, low of the day coming in right around 358.37. Rally there into the close, but just pretty stagnant, finishing the day right around the 361.30 mark. This market's also feeling a little bit heavy, looking like we're rolling over, seeing some lower lows and lower highs here. Dating back from Wednesday, we've kind of been stagnant and pushing down here on this 359 level. We do expect to see offers below 361 tomorrow. If we hit the ground running and break down off this opening range, we should see this thing flush down here and start to get a pullback underway back here towards this 20-day moving average and potentially even down to 350. We'll have to wait and see how the market responds to it tomorrow. The bulls have been resilient over the last couple months here, so if this is all the dip that we get, that wouldn't be much of a surprise, as the bulls just have been relentless and been buying any red day they see. So we'll wait and see, but if we see some opening range breakdowns tomorrow, we could start to get a flush here down into pullback territory. Big picture uptrend still remains intact. We do expect to see dips be bought up and higher prices as we head into the fall here. But here in the near term, this market just looks a little overdone and would welcome a pullback here for a healthy market action. Corn prices hanging right around the prior day's range, giving back a little bit of ground here, finishing the day right around the 418 mark. At the moment, we're still trading above this 50-day moving average, so that keeps us in bullish territory. We are trading back underneath our bull pivot, however, so we'll have to wait and see how this market responds here throughout the rest of the week. This 50-day moving average is going to be our line in the sand here at the moment. If we start trading back below 416, we could see this downtrend resume. However, in the meantime, above the 50 means bullish, and so we do expect to see a little bit more upside. Nothing major here at the moment. Look for that next upside target to be up here around the 430 mark, and we could see this market start to get range bound and hang out here in this 415 to 430 area. Just have to wait and see how tomorrow works, but if we continue to trade above this downtrend line and this 50-day moving average, we could see a new uptrend forming in this corn market. Crude oil prices giving back everything that they gained yesterday. Lots of downside here today, pushing all the way back down and basically back to where we started for the week. And so far here in the evening session, we are starting to trade back down below that bear pivot here as well at 63.66. If we do see that continue into tomorrow's session and see these bears continue pushing this market lower, we could start trading back down here into the low 60s. And now that we're trading back below 63, 66, we could be back in bearish territory. So not a whole lot of major directional movement. However, just expect continued chop here in tight ranges as this market remains a very low volatility environment and not a whole lot of directional bias here at the moment. So expect this market to just continue chopping up and maybe even a slow bleed if we continue down here back below 63, 66. Equity markets saw a pullback to start the week. Today we did see a nice little tight range day inside that prior day's range. Good support here right around the 20-day moving average here on this S&P futures contract. Good support here at the moment. We're starting to trade back above 64.60, which has been our bear pivot for the last 3 weeks now. As long as we're trading above 64.60, we do expect to see this uptrend continue. We would have liked to seen a little bit deeper pullback here. However, that most of that pullback came here over in the NASDAQ, where we did see this tech sector being the strongest of the bunch over the last couple months here, has now turned into the weakest of the bunch over the last 2 weeks, as we have seen this thing pull all the way back. Good bounce off that 50-day moving average and support here near the top end of yesterday's range. If we start to get bids above the 20-day moving average here on this NASDAQ, as well as the 64.60 mark and this today's high right around the 64.65 mark, expect to see those bids roll in and this market to start moving back up towards those all-time highs. That's all we got for tonight. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for closing comments. Have a good evening.